儿童语教学系的老师。那他在他个人的部分，专长部分也是英语教学，尤其是线上，还有数位，还有差异化教学的部分简老师都是非常专门。那这几年，简老师也投入这个双语教育的部分。那双语教育的部分，他也除了有一些进行一些双语教育师资的规划培训，也辅导了台北市新北市的那个双语学校非常的多，这方面的经验非常的丰富。那现在双语教育也是我们现在硕士班学生很多同学也很有兴趣的一个部分。那今天线上简老师应该也看到很多学生都来了哈。那有一些人他们也今年也参与那个双语教育的那个师资考试也是对这方面希望能够在这方面着力。好，那我们就大家可以鼓掌或者是按贴图我们就用最诚挚的我们的鼓掌欢迎简老师。好，那简老师我们就接下来就交给您了，谢谢。
好，谢谢主任，谢谢张主任，帮我开场介绍。然后，各位同学这样子听得清楚吗？外面在下雨，可能会有一点吵，尤其我现在在。OK，
很清楚。
Great， 因为我们用 Google Meet 的关系，所以我等一下 share 荧幕的话，可能就没有办法看到你们的就是脸。如果说有任何问题的话，请同学们也可以直接就是开麦克风就打断我问我，或者是那个 chat I'm not sure if I can see your chat messages. So okay, so allow me to present my entire screen here. Okay. Okay, can you all see this presentation slide?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, today my topic is bilingual education in Taiwan. Go to www.menti.com, enter the code 3291692. Okay, we have a word to describe bilingual education in Taiwan, and what you feel is that you feel it's hard. Some people think it's interesting. It's trial and error. It's about CLIL. It's about immersion program. It's challenging. It's interdisciplinary. It's innovative. So a lot more people feel that it's challenging. It's difficult. So we have challenging and CLIL in the center. It's in a big font, meaning a lot of people think it's challenging. Lacking. So does that mean that you think we still need a lot more bilingual education? It's something crazy. It means, okay, someone says it's unsuccessful, underdeveloped, and we require cooperation. And some people think that it's worthy. Okay, so some people think it's immature. Okay. So yeah, thank you for, okay, and right here we see interdisciplinary and challenging, okay, and CLIL. Thank you all for your input. We have 23 people here with us giving your thoughts on this. Okay, I have a, okay. All right, so I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to ask you to do a second input on what would you like to know about bilingual education in Taiwan. Just a quick thought about, you know, what would you like to know more about bilingual education in Taiwan? while you work on that, I'll go back and admit some people in here. Okay, it doesn't have to be long, just, and this is anonymous, so which mode is that are used in school so far? Okay, that's a very good question. I'd like to know the modes of CLIL or bilingual education are used. The course design. Okay, we can go over some course design. I brought some examples of CLIL courses that are currently implemented in Taipei and New Taipei City. The implementation, the current trends and methods of implementation. How long does it take for it to be mature and effective? Okay, that I think it'll take some time. How to design plans efficiently. For that, perhaps I'm not going into details as to how you could design lesson plans based on CLIL, the 4 C's curriculum, and that will be another talk. How to balance language and content knowledge, that's a really good one. And this one is actually what we've been struggling. How do you balance language and content knowledge? And there are courses that, you know, teachers are teaching right now, and when we're observing, we always ask this question: is this a language course or is this a content course? The feasibility, how to work with this program out, what kind of activity can be used to affect students on learning. Okay, so in the activity, I'm going to bring in some examples of activities today. Course design and how to implement all difficulties. We're going to talk about the difficulties of implementing a bilingual education, how to apply bilingual education in rural schools, how to assist students to understand the content in a foreign language. That's a big goal for us, and part of the process is to provide scaffolding and to be able to simplify the language for kids to be able to understand it, and the role of L2 and L1 play. This is definitely one of the things that we've discuss every time we talk about bilingual education. Should we use, what percentage of L2, what percentage of English should we use in a bilingual education, and when do we use our L1 to explain? And for this, I think that you might already know that for implementing CLIL and bilingual education, right now we're currently promoting translanguaging, and in other words, allowing kids to use their mother tongue Chinese to learn in a bilingual setting. And the portion of L1 and L2, how to teach in L2 and to students who are with culture deprivation. I'm not sure about this question. So I'm going to leave this to the very last. If you could take the mic and express your thoughts on that. We're going to come back to all these questions at the very end of our session today, so that you could use your speak up and express your thoughts on these questions. Okay, thank you. So we're going back here. Well, you see right here on, in 2016, it's actually official beginning of bilingual education right here. But before that, this is like the reason why we're pushing for bilingual education. We like to promote the English proficiency for our citizens in Taiwan. And so before that, we have an implementation of English curriculum starting from 1997, starting from 3rd grade, and then in Taipei it starts from 2002. It starts from 1st grade, but there are only like 3 sessions per week in 2011, and that's why we're promoting using English to teach other subjects and to promote English proficiency. But right now we're focusing on the content and subject knowledge and not the language part in bilingual education. And we'll go into details on that. But here's an example of our past curriculum. This is a textbook, and this is one of my students teaching a lesson and she's this sentence structure is, what's wrong with you? I have a cold. What's wrong with you? And I have a fever, a runny nose. And so basically, I always use this example of our past curriculum, and there's, to indicate why we're going from English, teaching of English, to promoting bilingual education. Is we are confined with sentence patterns in our regular English classes, and with in this example, what is wrong with this example? If you could type it in the chat or grab the mic, somebody, if you could grab the mic and say what is wrong with this example.
There's no context.
There's no context. Very good. And what else? I think if you could grab the mic and talk, that would be great, because I don't want to switch back to Google Meet and then interrupt the PowerPoint presentation slides.
It doesn't allow students to express their thoughts or their personal experiences.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. So in bilingual education, the conversation is free flow, and it's focused on the subject and what learned in that class, the content. And so it's not restricted. And so that's a very good point. Anyone else? One more. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I find this odd. Right here, she's teaching what's wrong with you, and student had to answer, I have a cold, I have a fever. Whereas in fact, what's wrong with you? This question, it has a negative connotation, meaning something wrong is with. There's something wrong with you. It's a negative connotation. So we don't actually ask kids what's wrong with you when they're feeling bad, feeling sick. So this is like pragmatics and correct usage in a social context. And so we've been teaching this pattern wrongly to kids for a long time, and this was corrected later on with the second version of the textbook. But so things like this happens, and like you said, it's set. The sentences patterns are set, and sometimes we might if we teach this outside of the context, it might be wrong. And so that is why we're trying to add more, going away from content-based communicative language teaching into more real life and communication, and using English to teach subjects. Okay, so here I said, what's wrong? And, you know, the exclamation point says, nothing's wrong. Okay, anyways. All right, so, but here we have the 12-year curriculum. We have a dilemma. Right here, you see the 12-year curriculum. There's no English classes for grade 1 and 2. And for grade 3 and 4, there's only 40 minutes per class. And for grade 5 and 6, it's only 80 minutes. So right now, when we're pushing for bilingual education, we like to fill in the hours here to promote their learning of their English proficiency through learning subject matters in English. Okay, so that's what we're currently doing. But notice here the textbooks, when the textbooks are being, you know, the textbooks we used are based on word frequencies. Like for textbooks 审定版的教科书，我们都是1200字以内，国小的教科书1200字以内的字，我们可以编入国小教科书，但是超过就是360还是380的字，这个字数以外的字，我们比较艰深的字都需要用中文的去注解，但是中文注解的量要很少。Anyways, so when we are teaching a bilingual, you know, teaching subject matters bilingually, what kind of words do we use in our bilingual class? And so one of the difficulties is the vocabulary, the terminologies used in the subject matter. They're all more difficult than the ones that are currently used listed in our 12-year national curriculum. And this is one of the big challenges, or the biggest challenges we're facing right now. Okay, so quickly, right here, there's in different cities, they start learning English at a different age or grade level. And right now we're starting bilingual education right here for Taipei City, and New Taipei City and Yilan are the ones that are, and also Tainan are the ones that are promoting bilingual education, despite the fact that they might not be starting the English curriculum at grade 1. I think that the 6 major cities that are the ones that who has their English curriculum starting from grade 1 using a different method of implementing English curriculum. They focus on bilingual education much faster than other cities, like the ones that are listed here. But yeah, that's just my personal point of view. Okay. So this is our bilingual nation policy, and it's to bolster our Taiwan's bilingual education and to improve data-driven, a demand-driven English proficiency among the general public. So there's a great demand, and right now, the demand-driven that we face for English teachers and subject teachers in terms of English proficiency is what level? What level of English proficiency is demanded for a bilingual teacher? Do you all know what level?
B2?
Yes, it is B2. Okay, so B2 is the level right now, and a lot of our, if you want in on the in-service professional development programs, you have to have a B2 level in order to get into the professional development training. And that also, you know, creates a set of problems of allowing teachers who are not B2 yet and who are interested in teaching in English to get into the professional training. So this is part of the problem, okay? And so remember I told you that for grade 1 and grade 2, in a 12-year curriculum, there is no English curriculum for grade 1 and 2. So right now, this is an example of New Taipei City. They're implementing 音乐会, and 音乐会focus on, we need to develop kids' English literacy, but at the same time, it has to be promoting 素养导向, so promoting their competency, their skills in lifelong learning. And so this curriculum actually adopts the CLIL approach into designing 音乐会 for this, this is the 2nd grade curriculum. And as you can see, 2年级大家记得说2年级的时候，其实那个过去1、2年级大家都还在，就是小朋友还在学 alphabets， 所以他们的就是字母phonics and alphabetic knowledge 还是2年级还是会教，但是有别于过去的English curriculum， 你可以看到说它的教学目标是前几项都是列比较跟就是素养导向相关的，比如像 Grow Up David， 以前我们 Grow Up David 可以一直教 repeated pattern Grow Up David， No David， repeatedly， 但是现在我们不能用过去的绘本教学的方式来教 CLIL 的课程，我们必须要着重在于，比如说能够分享自己与手足相处的情形，能够了解他人给予的帮助，并说出感恩的话，类似这样子，能够让自己变好，这样子的一个的教学目标 ，OK， but this is, like you said, it's very challenging because they might not have the language to do that, and this is why it's challenging to implement a CLIL curriculum targeting both content and language, of course. Okay, so this is what my university, our Center for Research on Bilingual Education, is currently doing. 大家可以看到，英语教学现今的挑战就是，可能学校老师们必须要就是互相协调，说老师就是像是我在知道永春国小的就是的主任，他就必须要了解说学校多少的老师愿意来教双语。那据我了解是他们接下来今年那个就是台北市教师真试，他们开了很多的英语老师缺。那英语老师缺进来的话，他们就是要请英语老师来担任1年级的导师，因为有英语老师的背景的，能够带双语的，可能他们主任认为说英语教师背景来带双语是比较能够马上上手胜任的。那这边的话，我也会提出I'm worried about my student teachers， 因为我们自己的学生大五实习之后，现在来考教甄，马上进入教学现场就要带1年级的导师，对他们而言真的是挑战十足这样子。所以就是双语教学会面对的一些问题，除了就是becoming a homeroom teacher 之外，还有就是英语老师的学科背景知识或许会比较不足 ，OK， 这些都是一些挑战。然后所以我们现在目前为止，我们要就是现在 research 那个 Bilingual Education Centers， 我们都在共同凝聚大学双语师资社群，能够来帮助小学这边的就是实施双语教育，那也是在大学端培育双语师资的课程来培育职前的双语教师。那也透过这些双语教授社群，也透过参与教育部的双语相关计划来指导辅导国小端的双语课程，然后也更能就是协助在职双语增能的课程的部分。好 OK， 那这是国北教大双语师资班的课程。那我也许跟市北大不太一样。那这边的话，就是国北教大双语师资班需要修习18学分的双语教学课程，教学原理那国北是着重在数学跟自然数学有2门课，自然有3门课，然后再加上教学实习。那我们今年已经第一批教学实习的学生已经完成他们的教学实习了。Okay. All right. Okay. And so I'm going to go into why CLIL. Okay. Because there are 2 different, like I mentioned, there are 2 different approaches. One is immersion and one is CLIL. And currently CLIL has become more popular. I think personally, I think it's because of the framework for CLIL. It's very clear, and the guidance for CLIL, it's clear. Whereas in immersion English, there's not much of a guidance. It's just using English and immersing students in an English environment. So I think that's why we're adopting CLIL in Taiwan. A lot of teachers are, and so like I mentioned, in traditional English curriculum, there's 80 minutes per week, and it does not work. And we're right now, in the past, we're learning to right now when we're adopting the CLIL curriculum, then we're in the past, we're learning to use the language, and it's low cognition, and through repetition, like I mentioned, what's wrong with you? I have a cold. What's wrong with you? I have a fever, something like that. And it's wrong through repetition and drilling. But right now we're trying to use language to learn the new subject, which is more higher cognition. And this is something that you've also mentioned in the first word cloud that I'd asked you for input. And also there's this immediacy effect, learn now and use now versus learn now and use later. And what is relevant is, CLIL classes bridges the connections to students' life. It's more relevant to students' life in a CLIL class than learning how to say, this is a pen, that is a book. Okay, so that's part of the reason why. Okay, and so I'm not sure if you're familiar with the content and language integrated learning, this CLIL wheel. I really like this. So I'm gonna skip this so that if you'd like me to explain or elaborate more, I'll come back to this slide. But what I like to do is I like to introduce to you these 6 factors of CLIL in terms of implementation. And later on, I have a different Mentimeter, and I would like you to gauge the difficulty or in terms of all these factors so that I can have all of your input. Okay, so these are the factors of implementing CLIL, and not just in Taiwan but globally. These are some of the factors that affects the successfulness of CLIL implementation. As you mentioned earlier, you think that bilingual education in Taiwan, it's immature and underdeveloped, and some of these might be the factors why you said so. Okay, so the first one is teacher availability. Okay, and in terms of teacher availability, so are English teachers willing to teach other subjects, or are subject teachers willing to teach in English? And do we have enough teachers to, who are proficient enough in English and content knowledge in order to teach a CLIL class, and these might be questions around teacher availability. The second factor is CLIL language fluency, and in our case, it's English. So are we fluent in English? Are subject teachers fluent in English, fluent enough for them to be able to explain concepts in English? And also, you know, you could think about learner English proficiency. Are they capable of understanding what teachers teach in English? Okay, so this is the second factor. The third factor is in terms of, you know, time and CLIL model. Well, when it comes to time, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. Do we have time for a CLIL model? Because, you know, because time for teacher preparation and time for CLIL classes. Because one of the, you know, challenging parts in implementing CLIL is if we should use the we should use the regular class time, or if we are teaching CLIL using the 弹性课程，弹性的时数. So time allotment would be one factor in CLIL model. I don't know if you're familiar with CLIL model, or if you are familiar with soft CLIL or hard CLIL. And I don't want to be just me talking, so I'd like to go back to you. Let's see. Can you all in the chat tell me what is a soft CLIL model, or what is a hard CLIL model? It could be in English or Chinese. Or you could grab the mic. Okay. Bing E says language driven for soft CLIL. Thank you. Very good. What about hard CLIL? Hard content. Okay, hard CLIL is similar, really similar to immersion.
Content driven.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Juan. Okay. CLIL is a spectrum ranging from soft to hard. Very good. Yes. So it could be soft CLIL and hard CLIL. So soft CLIL, you know, Juan mentioned that hard CLIL is content driven, and I'd like to clarify a little bit on that. So for soft CLIL, if you think it's you know, although it's language driven, but it is also content driven. You know, it's based on the language emphasis is also based on content. And so for soft CLIL, it's also content driven, but it's with a focus on language. And the hard CLIL is content driven, and it focuses on, you know, content knowledge and content skills. Okay, so it's a spectrum. So CLIL model is a spectrum ranging from soft CLIL to hard CLIL. And so guess what model are we currently, you know, pushing forward to? 你们觉得我们台湾现在正在就是朝向 soft CLIL 还是 hard CLIL?
Soft and might to hard.
From soft CLIL to hard, soft CLIL. I think I should set up a poll for that. We are using soft right now, but we're pushing forward hard CLIL. Okay. All right. So I personally think that we're pushing for hard CLIL, because whenever like professors from 素养导向。我觉得我们现在是比较朝向 hard skill 的去发展，因为就根据就是过去 where are we now? I think we're towards hard skill. 为什么这么说呢？因为就是沉浸式英语从107学年度开始，然后一直到现在已经有好几年了。那每次去看学校的时候，我们一定会有一个 content content professor 跟一个 English language professor。我就是那个 English language 的 professor。那我们每次去看，比如说arts class or 生活课，或者是综合课等等，我们都比较 focus on 学科，就是学科方面的知识跟技能。那 language 的部分反而没有，就是不会说不着重，但是我们是着重在学科。那所以我觉得而且在教学现场很容易被受批评的就是CLIL class 教程在教英文。那过去有些学校像我们就是一个要点就是绘本教学，我们有老师会 promote 说用绘本来教 CLIL，但是用绘本来教 CLIL 这是一个 very tricky tricky. It's if you teach a content course using a picture book， 我觉得比较会被说你在教语言课程，不是在教content skill knowledge。OK， 所以这个部分就是我们可以讨论的。那所以目前的发展，我是认为是我们是在朝向 hard skill 来去进行。OK， so let me go back to my slide here. Okay, so and the fourth factor is how are content and language being integrated. And like I mentioned, if you're focusing on content in like science, and if you see this picture right here, beaker, dropper, and these are terms that you need in order to do an ice cream science project, using a dropper, beaker, and adding salt into ice and creating a slushy. And this is something that they're learning for the language part. But for a science class, we focus on how to conduct the lab work or how to conduct the science experiment. And that's really key into how you integrate content and language, and not using the content course to teach too much focus on the language and neglecting, the content and the process of learning. Okay. So number 5 is out of school CLIL and networking. A lot of schools have been doing out of school networking before CLIL is implemented. 就是跟国外的国小有 pen pal 或者是线上交流，那就是过去很多学校没有在执行 CLIL 就已经有建立这样子的一个的联系。那第6点是 assessment process， 就是 how are we going to assess the students? Do we assess them in English or do we assess them in Chinese? Here I have an English teacher teaching science. This is an English teacher teaching science. And how many of you are English teachers, and I would like to know how many of you are English teachers and how many of you are science teachers, and I would like to, with a show of hands, 下面有一个 button 是 raise hand button. Let me say, if you are an English teacher, please raise your hand, like this, English teacher. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Only 11 teachers are English teachers. Okay, thank you. Put down your hands, lower your hands. Okay, so with a show of hands, please show me if you are a subject teacher. Subject teacher. Only one? What about those who did not raise your hand? 君平，你是什么？你是教什么的领域的？
我之前是辅导科。
哦，辅导科 ，OK。
但是我也是英文老师。
也是英文老师 ，OK。
是的。
好，谢谢。那今天参与都是硕班的学生，对不对？
对。
Okay.
Yeah, most of them. I think all of them.
So all of them are English teachers,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So right now our focus is. Okay. Let me go back to my slide. So right now our focus is an English teacher teaching science, and this isn't. I don't know if you know him. 大家认识他吗？他是那个新北市英语辅导团的团员。那他就是过去就是过去的教学都是英语教学，但是他最近就是也在尝试用英语来教自然。那这个是一个公开课程，然后他们的主题是那个adding salt into ice. Could lower the temperature and then creating an ice cream. 那这个 science 的 project 我觉得是就是现在国内大家最爱做的，因为小朋友喜欢吃那种 ice slushy， 所以他就是尝试用英语来教自然，然后 students discuss the reorder the experimental process。那这边是。你可以看到说，就是英语老师我觉得是一个很棒的尝试，就是英语老师愿意来尝试来教科学，我觉得是很棒的尝试。这位老师呢，他这个活动是用一些你知道，就是 science lab， 就是它有程序性的一个 step 1 step 2 step 3 step 4 and这个是 8 steps into creating a ice slushy。那就是他们的构想是让他们来一般自然老师会直接给小朋友程序，就是 step 1你要做什么 ，step 2你要做什么。可是他跟另外一位老师一起合作的这个教案，他是让学生们讨论说。他程序应该怎么放，而且他没有让孩子们，没有给他们正确的答案，他们要让他们进行这个实验是根据他们自己所排出的那个顺序来去进行的 ，OK， 然后才会，其中有一个程序是需要用就是需要用布来包起来这个程序，然后他们都在问说这个布到底有什么作用？那一直到他们在进行那个制作的时候，他们才发现他那个拿着那个 ice cubes 的那个Ziploc bag 来去一直摇，让他们那个 salt and ice 能够融合的时候是太冰了，所以他们才发现说那叫什么 towel 的用处是在哪里，就是包住让。这样子摇才不会冰到手，这样子 ，OK。所以我这边的提出来就是英语老师的，就是上课的方式，教自然的方式，可能跟自然老师上自然的方式不一样。那这些都是我们在教学现场的尝试。那我也很鼓励，就是硕班的，英教硕班的同学也勇于尝试，因为各位的英语的。language fluency 就是没话说，然后如果再增加 content knowledge， 我相信能够就是很顺利的教 science class OK， 那各位已经熟悉这个 CLIL factors 对不对？ All right. Can you please work on this? What would be the most difficult aspect of CLIL? And we have teacher availability. These are the things that I talked about, the factors, but I split them up into more details. It's more than 6. It's 8. So teacher availability, English language proficiency, hard CLIL, soft CLIL, content language, content knowledge, meaning if you know how to teach the science content, mathematics content, arts, music, pedagogical knowledge of CLIL, learner English proficiency, bilingual assessment. Wow. This is really interesting. So this isn't like so far 7 people. This is results based on 7 people, 8, 9. Okay, you can see that I think you think that soft CLIL is the least difficult one. It's a 2.7. And you think teacher availability might be more difficult. Bilingual assessment is same. Oh, so you think what is even more difficult is the learn English learner proficiency. We have 14, 15 people input. Please do, please work on this on your own. Please do not be influenced by what I'm sharing of popular opinion. So I should probably shut up before everybody has completed their voting. Okay, 17, and we are still waiting for a couple more inputs. I remember last time there were 23, right? So far we have 18. How many people are currently online? Okay, somebody stop presenting. Yo, Ray, you've raised your hand. Would you like to say something?
No, 老师，我按到了。Sorry.
Oh, okay. We have more than 18 people. Are you still working on that? We have 26 online. We'll give them a bit more time. Okay, perhaps we have 26 people, 18 active participants. All right, so entire screen. So let's take a look at this, and feel free to grab your mic, and you can also type up your comments or questions from the audience. Okay, and let's take a look at the results here. I wish that there had been more people who could participate in our voting. And right here, what I see is you all think that soft CLIL is the least challenging, least difficult of all. So you are pretty confident about teaching soft CLIL.
I'm sorry, Professor, but can you share your screen?
Oh, okay.
I kind of want to see the results too.
Okay, sorry. I thought I shared.
No,
sorry.
right.
Okay. So can you encourage all participants to participate so that our result is more accurate? We have 19. Perhaps we should wait on some a little bit longer. Okay, instead of me telling you, going over the results, can you just grab your mic and tell us what you think about the results? This is an open discussion about this. 可以用中文也没关系。
我觉得我是君平，我是君平
啊，君平，谢谢。
对，就是刚才一直讲话的，就是我自己跟这个表格大部分都一样，只是一个 content knowledge 不太一样，是我觉得它没有那么的难。
嗯哼，
对，就是 content knowledge， 我觉得毕竟是国小，那我们所谓英文老师要去当一个 clear 老师 ，content knowledge 对我们来说应该是可以去掌握，然后我们可以自己去进修的。
嗯哼，
对，那相较于 subject teacher 他们要来去当 clear 老师，会是比较困难的一件事情。
嗯哼，
因为他们的语言 proficiency 要到 B2， 而且他们还有很多就是 speaking 的问题。
嗯哼，
对 ，OK， 然后这是我的想法。
谢谢君平哦，我也很同意你的想法，就是可能 content knowledge 如果说 everything is in English， 这个部分如果我们就是语言程度够，我们可以在自己来去进修，然后像 science terminology、science concepts 我们就是阅读，然后准备了之后，可能会也还不算难去上手，不过就是 if you're willing to spend the time in studying those other content areas， 当然是真的是很好。OK， 谢谢君平的分享。那还有没有其他同学要分享？可以谈谈看。
老师，
好。
sorry，林毅，thank you first。
好，谢谢老师。老师，我想要请问，就是因为现在很多学校就是有在做双语的教学，可是我看到就是我听到，我觉得好像那个就是关于评量的部分，现在目前有没有一个准则可以参照？
嗯哼 ，OK， 所以你请问你叫
bin义。
OK， 一义 ，OK， thank you for your question， 就是评量的部分。那评量的部分其实现在目前的做法，因为你们看到说台北市现在推现在已经就是108学年度9就是28所国小嘛，那接下来就是40几所，那大家都是从1年级开始在推，而且是推的科目是非考科，所以 assessment 的部分就是会比较是用多元评量的方式来去进行，也就是说不会是做纸笔测验，那也就是用课堂上的就是平常的 project based 表现，或者是 presentation 或者是group work or you know。individual assignment, drawings, things like that， 就是会用formative assessment 的方式来去评量，所以到目前为止是比较没有就是争议，但是如果说，但你可以发现说这众多科目之中，很多学校也慢慢的也在把那个自然放进来，那自然的话的部分就会比较是有可能需要纸笔测验，因为其实期末的那个期中、期末考，他们就会思考说，那我们要不要用英文考？那我不知道各位的想法如何。那这个部分大家还是在讨论。那我知道台南西门国小他们的做法是，他们是有用英语来考自然科的，就是但是目前台北市的话，就是附小有在用6年级有在用英语来教自然，他们的沉浸式英语也是今年也有申请部分领域双语实验课程。那他们期中考试有用英文，就是有一大题是用英文来考的，那就是学生的表现也是在这个 大题上面表现还蛮不错。那这边上面在评量上面有一个问题，就是你可以看到 Clio 的 Science 部分的 Research Study。那如果说用 teaching Science in English 的部分，有学者很强调的是，如果说你是用英文教的话，你可以用英文考。然后，如果你是用中文教，你不应该用英文考。可是你用英文教的话，你也不应该用中文考，因为你用英文教用中文考会影响到学生的评量状况这样子。那不过我们现在，所以这一点是可以拿来就是好好的研究的。那我们现在强调的是 bilingual， 就是学生一个科学的概念，你要能够同时记得中文跟英文的一些的 terminology 跟知识这样子，就是双语同时进行的。所以bilingual assessment 这一块就是大家还在，我记得第一个 slide 有人写说 trial and error， 大家真的还在 trial and error 实验中，所以问的这个问题是个好问题。好，那还有没有最后一位？
金老师，OK， I'll leave it to you. Who is there? Just talk.
What? Oh, whoever would like to.
I saw there's someone else asking questions.
Okay, go ahead and grab the mic.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question about, actually I posted my question on the chat.
Oh.
And then I'm just wondering how can an English teacher become bilingual teacher or teach the bilingual course? They're supposed to have a certain kind of training, or I don't know, the policy of the city government or the Bureau of our Education or the Ministry of Education. I don't know if they are going to allow English teacher to become bilingual teacher, or they prefer the subject teacher to become bilingual teacher. I mean, is there any policy going in either direction?
So if you, let me stop presenting, okay? So that is a very good question. And so far, the policy, in terms of policy, I think at least in Taipei City, they are asking subject teachers to teach bilingual science. For example, this year they wanted like, is it 30 science teachers, but only like a couple of them signed up for the 教师甄选. And if you could see if you take a look at the criteria, you know, that they've required in order to submit an application to become a bilingual science teacher, they are asking for science majors to teach bilingual science. First of all, you need to be a science major or minor in science, or you should at least have the 22 credits 自然教师专长的证明. So these three, and then you need to be at the B2 level or English proficiency, and these are all the criteria in order to become a bilingual science teacher. So they're asking subject teachers to teach CLIL class, the bilingual classes, and at least this is the policy so far. So that is why that is why if you want to become a bilingual teacher, I would recommend that you know, a lot of you recommend you to take consider minoring in that subject area, or but the fact is the policy changes every year. And as you know that we have a new group of bilingual pre-service teachers that are graduating right now. And when they graduate, they would have the 双语次专长加注 on their teacher certificate. And that would be a new criteria. And I am not sure how each city is going to use that criteria and, you know, as a demand for becoming a bilingual teacher. But, you know, so this is like the current trend, is to ask some subject teachers to become bilingual teachers. Yes, Junping.
我是有一个疑问，首先是那个教授您的那个有一点讯号不稳，我不确定是我这边还是大家有这个问题。
哦 ，OK，
对，
是大家都觉得就是有断续吗？
No
没有，我这边没有。
OK，
没有哎、
这边也没有。
好，那是我的问题。然后再来是就是要求我们有那么多专长，包含教育学，然后包含 subject 的，然后又有 linguistic 的。那这么多样的专业，我们花那么多心力修了那么多学分出来，有什么样的知识？我刚刚是有听到有在职双语真人，对，那福利呢？就是我们会觉得说花那么多心力，好像没有一个回报这样子。虽然回报是就是学生的成长跟进步，但是这好像还是有点太官腔了。对，我想询问的是这块，就是政府有没有在规划？
OK，
谢谢。
市北应该是这个暑期有开了，我记得应该是5个班的双语在职专班，我们国北只有开3个班。所以它第一个 requirement 就是 B2 level， 所以很多报名的老师们所以这样子的 requirement 对于我们英语教学专长的老师们是比较有福利的，就是比较就是有优势。那对于加薪减课的规划这个部分，目前是没有加薪是没有这方面的规划，但减课或许是有。那就是减课的部分，但是也会增加备课的时数，就是老师们需要共备才能够那个就是才能够来顺利来教课程嘛。那所以目前为止是没有加薪，但有减课，但也需要共备这样子。然后 for in-service teachers in Taiwan, we have a double-track training program. The 2 tracks are bilingual knowledge, language teaching, professional knowledge, and both tracks are in 3 levels. Li Jun, can you elaborate on that? Li Jun, can you take the mic? Can you grab the mic and explain? Sorry, my mom is sleeping. OK， 加入诚信之间可以减课2堂，但是义务很多。Yeah, that's what I meant. 有减课，但是因为要备课，其实说实在的，减课的时数可能都拿来备课了这样子。那真的是一个就是做双语这件事情，可能就是看老师是。真的是老师，真的是if you are very passionate about it， 有那种使命感 ，because we can and let's do it together。像我这部分，我就是我自己本身就是觉得我是有使命感的 ，because I can, let's do it together, and that's why I've been promoting bilingual education. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for your question, Junping. And okay, so I'm gonna go back to my so sorry, I very quickly, and this would be interesting if you could right here. Okay. Okay. As an English teacher, which subjects are you most comfortable in teaching in English? And this is 这好像是排序 ranking， 所以我们可以看到就是这些。那我好像漏掉了 music， 但是没关系，就是我们就这6个科目，请各位英语老师们来去 rate 说如果你因为各位都是英语教学专长，然后对于教这些科目，你们觉得你哪一些从最 comfortable first 到 least comfortable 是 number 6？ 我们可以大家可以彼此了解一下。Are you able to vote? Oh, great! Yay! Oh, okay. This is so interesting. Science 竟然是最后一个。Wow. Okay, we have 5 people who voted so far.
不好意思，我是君平，我没有办法选是要怎么选？我 select the option 点下去是空的。
你要往下滑，它会跑出来。就你的滑鼠往下，它会反白出来。
你的滑鼠反白往下点。
我懂了，谢谢。
谢谢同学们帮忙。哇，好棒哦！OK， 我们再等大家一下。我们现在目前为止只有10个人上来作答。那请大家还是回到 mental.com， 然后 code 17820770。11. I'll give you a couple more minutes. Wow, okay, great. 17. 18. This is so interesting. Okay, we have 19. Do we have one more? It's like bidding for something. Okay. Yay, we have 20 people. Okay, so 20 people ranked all like 6 subjects, and 我看到大家最 comfortable teaching is 生活，就是first second grade 生活课程，大家都觉得这个部分可以教起来比较得心应手，很棒。然后再来就是综合课程，也是大家觉得教起来跟就是生活相关的综合，所以也是觉得还不错。那接下来是 arts， 所以生活综合跟 arts， 然后再来是 PE， 没想到 science 跟 math 是最后，是 I'm not surprised 那个 science 是第5名。Okay, so science is what I'm promoting right now, and from this I know that for you science is the ranks the 5th. You would rather teach 生活 and 综合 than science. It's really good to know. And yeah, thank you for your input on this. 你们有觉得这个部分就是生活是比较好教的，就是那不知道就是说 就生活跟综合课，那刚才主任也有谈到说，how do we get our English teachers ready to teach 生活跟综合这个部分，我不知道就是学校有没有提供生活跟综合教材教法的课程，然后是不是有就是有英语授课这样子，是不是这样子的一个课程会比较能够帮助你们日后如果教生活的话会能够比较得心应手。那就国北教大而言，就是我们目前为止就是做那个第5跟第6名比较难的科目，就是 Science and Math， 然后我们双语师资专班他们就是 Learning Science Content and Pedagogy in lab work in English, and also mathematics knowledge and mathematics teaching pedagogy in English, and this is how we're preparing them to become science teachers. And as I know, not a lot of elementary schools teach math and English, so we're very hesitant on the math. And as you know, this is the most difficult. Math would be the most difficult part. Yeah. So thank you very much for your input. This is very interesting, and let me go back to my slide here. Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So perhaps I have like 10 more minutes to go over some of the interesting photos that I took in elementary school. This is an English teachers explaining English science concept in English, and this is a science teacher explaining science concept in Chinese. They're collaborating in one class, but what I like to share with you is that we do not encourage this type of collaboration within one class. We do not want to split up the time between teaching in Chinese and teaching in English, So this is the CLIL mode. Our goal is for science teachers to be able to explain science in English, and for English teacher to help the science teacher, as at least in like a science in a science class. 但是这个部分台北市的做法跟新北市做法有不太一样，因为新北市像就是北大国小就是 English teacher teach science， 北大国小是英文老师来教自然，但是他是跟自然老师共备，他主教就只有一位老师。那我们现在推的希望是主教就是一位国内的教师来教就是双语的课程。那新北市有引进很大量的外师，那我们就是教育部现在目前为止也是在聘大量的外师来去投入在双语教学的市场。但是我们希望这些外师来台湾是协助我们建立双语的课程，那不是他们主教，而是他们帮助我们local teachers 能够get there faster with their help, OK？ 所以这个不是我们的这部分，我以这个案例来跟你们解释说，我们希望的是 one teacher. It's either English teacher being able to teach science or science teacher being able to teach science in English, okay? What about PE teacher? 刚才说 PE 是你们的第三顺位，但事实上，如果你有兴趣教physical education， 就是 PE 带的方式，它 teaching pedagogy 真的是很不一样。就是我会问到 ，Are you comfortable teaching badminton, 羽球 basketball, soccer? All these different types of sports。就是这个部分就是可能需要的是，我知道你们学校有很棒的那个体育的 program， 那个双语教学中心就是也是朝体育跟艺术来进行。我觉得我很鼓励你们，就是可以在就是他们如果有研习或者是有 provide classes, I really encourage you to join them. Okay, so 根据沉浸式英语的就是计划，就是几分老师的计划，他们过去的 的观课，他们发现说，英语老师在教那个就是体育课的所遇上的问题可能会比较多，然后也就是比较会有问题，但是体育老师比较没有自信能够用英语教。那不过这个是附小的体育老师，然后他把整个这个是 Taekwondo， 他把整个课程他说他上网 Google 翻译完再请老师来去确认英文是否正确，然后他来教的这个 Taekwondo class， 我去做 observation， 他教的非常好 ，OK。他会说 punch， 然后小朋友就是撒 ，OK。Anyways， next is music， 我刚才就是漏掉 music，homeroom teacher， 这个是桃园市的一个就是老师，他是 music teacher， 然后他也是 homeroom teacher， 然后他英文很好，因为他是去国外就是留学回来教音乐的。那他的English he's a great candidate for teaching music in English, but she's a homeroom teacher and she has no time. 他因为自己要带班，然后又要教 bilingual music class， 这个部分就是他觉得 very challenging， 所以他下个学期就是下一年度他就不打算继续教了。所以你可以看到说，现场教学老师可能遇到的问题，不想继续走双语，的因素也有很多。那这个可能是就其中之一。OK， 那刚才也有提到 assessment 的部分，就是我也大概跟你们提了一下。那what I encourage is if you teach it in Chinese, assess them in Chinese. If you teach them in English, it doesn't have to be a paper and pencil test. It could be a formative assessment or a project like this. 那附小的他们是6年级用英语学自然，可是他们的期末的成果是由6年级小朋友来办了4个 different station science stations， 有 magnets， 有就是matter when you heat something up, like would it change back to its original form, or would it stay the same? 那个 chocolate popcorn station， 然后ice and salt lowers the temperature, the slushy station, and also this 这个是那个 the rock cycle， 他们用石灰粉，就是 use this to create a memo clip. So what they did was the 6th graders are teaching the 3rd and 4th and 5th graders how to on this project in English, and they each are able to explain the steps in English. Okay, so that's a pretty good example of a formative assessment or idea for assessing kids whether or not they know. Being able to teach in the language is a very good way to demonstrate that they understand the concept. Okay, so formative assessment is the way to go, and this is one of the stations, and she's explaining how this is done. 这个是附小的陈美清主任。Okay, all right, so这边 I've divided into 1, 2, 3, and if you take a look at the Chinese 中文为主，英语为辅这个部分，我们国内比较不会，既然我们走双语，我们不会以中文为主或英语为辅。过去有公开授课，刚好是导师来上双语生活课，那他那门课就是以中文为主，因为导师他可能就是在英语指导上面有担心学生们不懂不理解，所以他还是以中文为主。但是我们这样看上来，这个部分的这样子的一个 model， we would have a question in mind: Is this bilingual class, and is this what we want in a bilingual education is so 这个部分我觉得我们国内比较不会朝这方面走。那中英文皆呈现以中文这边 develop a key concept and learner autonomy. This is the way to go. Okay, key concepts in both English and Chinese. 中英文都呈现 and using Chinese to test them in paper and pencil tests and in English presentations or projects done in English. And this is one of the ways, the model. Here, so for long-term CLIL program, language teaching complements content teaching. 以英文教学科，然后以英文评量也有中文评量。This is long term. This is what we would like to develop. Both types of assessments, and this is a science teacher using English to teach science, 3rd grade science, and she's really good at teaching science, and she is a homeroom teacher. 因为那个生活领域也有包括自然的部分课程有自然，所以他是 homeroom teacher， 他也是教得非常好 ，OK， 所以homeroom teacher 好像是英文老师背景，所以他就是这个部分就是she might be your role model because she's an English teacher, but she's also a homeroom teacher teaching 生活，就是你们刚才 rank the top, the most preferred subject to teach. Right, so 另外一个问题就是 what curriculum？ 我提到说，我们现在台湾的双语教育，就是其实就是大家跟着课纲走，那就是但是那个样貌真的很多元。那其中有 science class， 就是有学者强调，你 science class 就要用 science time to teach science in English， 但是有其他有学校是利用弹性时间，所以3+1的时间，新北市是这样做法，就是3 hours of science in Chinese and 1 hour of science in English。那这个 1 hour of science in English， bilingual science， 这它是用额外的弹性时间，也就是他们会有4 hours of science， 3 in Chinese, 1 in English。So and 有些课程是像台北市都是用中师教，可是新北市很多课程都是用外师来直接教，所以其实我们台湾的课程走向就是 model 真的是很多元，也很不一定。那就是大家也都在就是尝试说哪一个 model 是最好的。Okay. So this 就是New Taipei City 就是 foreign English teacher teaching CLIL 这个部分就是他们引进了很大量的外师来去进行教学。那今年度也是要聘40几位吧，这样子。那这些外师他们是不是有 CLIL 的那个就是 CLIL 的 background 也不见得。那他们都在配合我们中师英文老师或者是 subject teacher 来去共备。然后像这个是一个 art class， 这个外师他在教color wheels， OK， 怎么样配色才能选出最好吃的 hot pot， OK。So there are, different varieties of CLIL classes. 那这是新北市这位老师 Greg， 他是带 STEAM class， 就是他带的非常成功。那我也有我在师德上面有分享他怎么样带的。如果各位有兴趣，可以再看那篇我的就 article 的分享。那这也是新北的一位外师，他教的是那个 problem solving， 所以很有趣。那这个是这位 Greg 他的学生们，他们都会有 vocabulary notebook， 那有英文、中文解释跟图画，这个是我很推的，就是我觉得这个是有助于学生的学习。Okay. I think we're running out of time here, and I would like to leave a couple, like 15 minutes for Q&A. So I would skip these parts, and now this is 这是我们那个国北教大的双语专班到文昌国小的，就是就是双语自然的教学实习，3周实习在他们教的部分 animal dispersal, water dispersal, wind dispersal， 然后这些老师我们也是在指导过后发现他们在教的设计教案的上面是就是 science inquiry 那个 inquiry 的那个 pedagogy 没有这样子教出来，没有让学生真的是 inquire about science concepts， 所以我们在3周实习的时候之前都有在做 instructional coaching on how to design bilingual science lessons that are inquiry based. So this is what we've been doing, and so some of them are not only one of the students is in science major, and the rest of the students are from different majors. So okay, so these are some of the photos of buoyancy. See, this word is very difficult. 水的浮力, okay? This is what they've been doing, and kids love it. Kids love doing experiments, and kids love the bilingual science class. This is about the water cycle, okay? And how do seeds travel? Okay, I can share this PowerPoint slide to you after my presentation, so that you could take a look. And what we emphasized was on predict, observe, and explain in scientific inquiry. Okay, and these are slides from Greg Conrad, Mr. Conrad's their STEAM program, using coaching models with 就是他们是新北市就是中外师协同这样子模式。Okay, so this is one teach, one support, team teaching during drama and theory, and during parallel teaching during the building of hands-on work. So this is 我很喜欢他们的那个 coaching 模式，非常的就是非常的清楚说教学上面哪一个部分是怎么样的 model， 哪一个部分是怎么样的 model， 这样子，这个是个很好的co-teaching 的模式，这样子。Okay, so these are different what they did in their STEAM curriculum, CLIL, and kids love the STEAM program, and they've done a lot. And these are some other pictures from New Taipei City, and these are from Yongchun Guoxiao PE class, 生活课, okay, in their team. So they co-plan the lessons on a regular basis. And I think that's it for my talk on bilingual education in Taiwan, and I hope if you have any questions, I think this is a good time. We only have like 10 minutes left. I can't believe you're all still here after 2 hours.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I think we can turn on the camera now so that we can have, if you have any questions, we can just ask Professor Jin. And thank you very much for the excellent speech in which you talk about the situation of Taiwan's bilingual education and its relation with CLIL. And also you have elaboration on some difficult part about the teacher resources and also the assessment. Thank you very much for this talk. And now I'm going to open the floor for you to ask questions concerning bilingual education in Taiwan. All right. You can just raise your hand, and then I think, okay, Junping. Okay.
就是我刚刚其实那个问题啊，其实是大家还蛮 concern 的一件事情，就是你看我们学分，就是虽然说 passion 一定是有的。就是我们愿意去付出那么多的时间跟精力，然后去学。当然，目前我们是前期，那我们现在还在投入很多资金当中跟资源当中。我知道这个可能是我们可能会觉得说，哦，我们可以免费获得那么多资源，这是我们的获益这样子。那 但是之后呢，我会觉得说有一点点失落啦，听到还是会有一点失落。对，那就是我希望就是如果是政府啊，或是比如说行政单位，可以就是想一下，就是说有没有什么样的措施 measurements 可以让这些老师更能够去维持那个 motivation 在这件事情上，因为我觉得这是一件很棒的事情。包括刚刚其实 science 我选的是第2个，因为我本身有 art 的背景，然后我的 science 我以前高中是科学班的，所以我其实 science 也 OK。对，所以其实我觉得像这样子的话，如果比如说 demand 跟 supply 嘛，因为如果你 demand 很多 supply 不够的话，那其实也是一种损失，也是很可惜的。所以我觉得希望就是你们可以再想想这个 measurements。对，然后我也相信底下很多同学跟我的想法是一样，只是不敢开口，我说话比较直一点这样。谢谢
谢谢君平。对，那这个部分我们也一直在跟就是教育部跟就是台北市教育局或者是其他就是新北市教育局，我比较常接触是台北市新北市教育局反映说，就是他们是不是可以再放宽一点那个 requirement， 然后那个其实局里他们都也有一直在讲说，如果没有利多，那为什么老师们要投入这么多时间来去就是做双语教育这一块？那他们其实也一直在思考这个部分，然后再慢慢做调整，这样子。谢谢你，
谢谢。
真的，他们花超多钱，那个
我知道，我理解，因为
花超多钱聘外师，我都觉得那些钱那个来投入我们中师还比较好，这样子。
对，因为我曾经在土城看过，就是这种什么协同式教学，我曾经去代课过。他们就是请外师来上，然后上的就跟儿美一样，然后我们中师就是在旁边盯那些特教的孩子，叫他们不要吵闹而已。我觉得这不是 clear。
真的，
跟我的想象差太多。我觉得他们在浪费钱。哦，对不起，我说错话了，对不起。
没有，不会。但是就是他们外师进来的好处就是他们可以共备。如果说共备的话，如果就是比如说因为外师我接触过，他们比较难上手的就是综合，因为他们不知道我们综合就是素养导向综合到底是在上什么。那所以那些能力指标他们全部都翻成英文，然后再就是共备时间要拉长，他们才知道怎么样上综合才是 appropriate。那很多外师的背景都是英文老师，就是教语言的进来的，这个也是一个问题。不过这个现在就是各县市他们都了解有这样子的现象，然后也是在尽量是大量跟中师来去合作，然后设计更好的课程这样子。
了解，好，希望可以看到进步，谢谢。
那还有别的问题吗？好，哇，黄
林老师您好，我是现职的新北市英语老师。我很想知道，因为我是在偏乡教书，然后我其实很觉得落实 bilingual teaching 蛮难的，因为我觉得我们小朋友连国语都不好，所以我一直很纳闷说，如果在教自然啊，譬如说很多现象，比如说好升华这个概念，然后我们都用英文教了，那他是不是变成他自己的国语，就是他根本不知道那个东西是什么？所以我不知道，就是因为我已经考上了，才开始有 bilingual teaching 这个议题，所以我就大学都没有修过相关的一些知识，所以我不知道这个部分有没有，就是因为这个 bilingual teaching 他们反而国语的能力变得不好等等，或者说我们这种学校他们连国语都不好了，他们怎么去知道说，我这样子接受 bilingual teaching 他们可能会更进步这样子，不知道有没有探讨这个部分？
我觉得就是你刚才说的那一点是，就是大家的忧心的地方，就是学生的国语文程度落后。还有继续再讲吗？
什么继续再讲
？OK， 我看你的
没有，可能 lag，
OK， 然后其实就是说你刚才说什么升华，其实我不知道升华是什么，就是
可能我意思说自然有好多
你说
对
什么 condensation、precipitation、evaporation 哦，你看像我都只会英文的，所以我中文的不会，所以正中你刚才说的重点。那我强调的是说，就是我们既然要 teaching bilingually， 我强调的是学生如果中文跟英文都同时学，让他们能够用双语去学，就是2个 terminology 都会的话，就是对他们会有帮助这样子。那就是比如你也会发现，你用什么语言学，你就大概只会那个语言。你如果那2个语言都学，你2个语言你的encoding 才会有双语一体并重。所以我强调我们在做 bilingual education， 我们不要忽略了母语，我们的国语，那国语也是很重要的这样子。
谢谢老师。
不会。
Okay, there are 4 minutes left. Any more question? Okay, another one. Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
You might want to unmute your mic.
老师你好，我是硕士的 Gina， 你好。那老师首先谢谢你的分享。那就是我在您的刚刚的分享当中，就是我有一个疑问，就是我们一直想要了解说，像刚刚黄玲就是我的同学，对他之前有讲到说，因为我们bilingual其实注重的是双语，我一旦讲它bilingual就是我们的国语跟目前来讲是国语跟英文。那所以说在所谓的 translanguaging 上面，我们要怎么去使用它的分际是什么？像老师您刚刚也建议到说，不希望是以中文可能是为主，可是英文为辅的，因为这样好像就是在我们在教授bilingual的主要宗旨就会不见。可是针对我们英文老师可能慢慢在接触CLIL这个议题，我们会不知道说它那个界限在哪里，到底要怎么去拿捏就是这样子中英文转换的一个技巧。我们知道同学在学习当中，因为他的语言能力不足，他当然可以就是free 去使用他的母语，但对一个就是教书者来讲，我们比较不会知道说大概什么时候，或是大概他的一个比重要怎么去做一个衡量，这样子。希望老师可以帮我解答这个问题。对，谢谢。
OK，Gina 吗？是吗？
对。
OK，Gina，thank you for your question。然后这个是一个研究的议题，这个 translanguaging 本身就可以是一个很大的研究了。那目前为止，我觉得就是因为我们台湾还没有很足够的就是教学的怎么讲经验。那所有的 translanguaging 的一些proposed 就是 model 都是借由国外的一些经验跟那个 research paper 来去对，来去建议我们该怎么做。那就是一个要点，就是我们现在国内的一个要点，就是我刚才说的，我们着重是不要再做 translation 都 you know 不是中文一句英文一句，不要用 translation。然后但是就是说什么时候中文可以进来，可能是第一个就是学生一定可以用中文，因为那是他的母语，就是你不要限制学生的使用的语言。那第二个是老师什么时候中文可以进来，是当你认为说学生这个知识他中文需要去解释，他比较能够快速了解，你就可以用中文，但是就是说，或者是第二点就是你觉得学生不懂了，你可以用中文来解释，但是我们还是尽量是先用英语来去就是帮助大家熟悉这些概念。那这些比较是大原则这样子，但是实际上你说比例如何，说是不是适当或怎么样的，这个部分真的是我觉得如果你硕士论文主题还没有做的话，你不妨这个可以当你的硕士论文主题，可以到 bilingual classroom 去做录音去记录，然后来去分析目前台湾的那个 translate languaging 的模式是如何的这样子。那跟刚才那个中文英文的 coding， 就是中文很重要，但中文的部分就是也有很多不同的方式呈现，不见得是老师口语说的中文，而是老师教学的教材 PowerPoint 这个部分中英文都呈现，这个部分也是可以给学生中文的 input， 或者是像老师是用中文教科书，可是用英文去教，然后也有辅助英文的教材，这个部分就是双语双轨这样子。谢谢老师的问题，很好，
谢谢老师。
好
，OK，
那any further question？
我有问题想要问。
OK， 君浩，
我是云浩，然后
云浩，
对，然后我想问，就因为老师刚刚有说到，就是之后就是想要让今年想要让双语的老师去当1年级的导师，然后就我会有个问题，就是说，因为我之前是当过2年的导师，然后我会觉得，如果当导师的话，他又要再兼顾双语的话，我会觉得就想说，那我们有办法平衡导师本身的工作量吗？就是因为导师其实本身就已经蛮忙，就有一堆作业要改，然后那如果要再花很多的时间，可能跟外师备课或者是准备双语的东西的话，那可能就会整个都压缩到导师的时间。那我觉得那个可能你们想要用，可能政府想要用1年级的导师，可能是因为他们有很多的半天的时间。可是1年级的导师其实他早上的半天就已经像在打战一样，就是打完一场战之后，然后下午又要再打另外一场战，就是其实蛮累的。就是然后其实1年级小朋友的，就是教室可能就又很乱，他们也要花很多时间什么拖地、扫地那些，因为我们学校的老师都会这样。然后我会觉得这样子好像对1年级的老师来说，其实会增加一个很大的负担。然后加上我们学校的英语老师，1年级的导师其实之前会写那个校本课程，因为现在那个12年课纲嘛，
对，
那每个年段他们都会自己写自己的校本课程，还有可能领域的课程。那如果又再加上了双语的这个东西，那其实老师的 loading 会变得很重，就可能平常他们可能5点多，可能最晚6点多回家，那可能常常都要留到7点才可以回家。就是我觉得对1年级老师来说，或是导师来说，我会觉得有点压力有点大。对，
你非常有经验哦，然后也说出了1年级导师的心声。然后其实你刚才说的都是1年级像永春国小导师面临的问题。那你刚才说那个校本课程，对不对？没错，他就校本课程全部要用英文，所以他们现在把校本课程全部转换成英文了。所以我每个月去共备都是在帮他们看校本课程怎么样用英文教，然后那个 language 要怎么样 ，content 要怎么样呈现，所以真的是就是比较就是 very challenging。然后像1年级的小朋友真的非常可爱，可是很多老师都说他们听不懂人话。Sorry， 不是，就是比较需要用中文来去跟他们讲解，像那个PE teacher。就是他们双语的体育都是1年级就开始用英文教，可是体育老师就跟我们分享说，他前几个礼拜是完全没办法用英文来下指令让他们整队啊，要那些规矩班经的那些规矩，完全没有办法用英文来去教他们，所以这个部分真的是我觉得是就是老师跟小朋友都有适应，都需要适应，然后也是一个。未来就是你们可能会遇到的很大的问题，就是我发现台北市真的很多学校预留了那个代课老师的名额，现在都大量释放出来，在 recruit 英文老师进来当导师，那这个是一个台北市的趋势，然后我不知道其他县市会不会这样子跟进，如果是双语教育要继续这样子推的话，是有可能的这样子。
可是因为我之前的学校，我觉得就是1年级，因为我上个学期有带1年级的双语，可是我觉得就是1年级小朋友如果他一开始就全英语的话，他们其实有点都会听不懂。然后因为我也有看到小朋友是上到后来直接趴下去睡着的，就因为我们学校就会要求老师一定要全英语，那可是他们的 语言能力可能没有到可以听得懂外师的权益，就会变得好像会有点，就是这堂课好像它有点虚度光阴的感觉。
然后这个考量其实有2个方向可以去思考。第一个方向是真的你会很担心孩子们听不懂，所以你觉得可以要适度的增加中文进来去辅助你，让他们了解，然后再慢慢把英文加进来，这个也是一个就是不错的方式，这是可以考虑这么做。那另外一点就是另外一个思考方向是说，其实孩子们的语言吸收能力是非常强的，他们是就是尤其是越小，他们的语言的吸收能力是越强，但是他们一定有我们英语教学second language acquisition， 他们都有 silent period， 因为他们需要 a lot of language input in order for them to provide their output, be confident about their output， 所以他们需要有英语的刺激 language exposure， 来去刺激他们更熟悉这个语言之后，他们才能更进入到用英语授课的这个状况。所以老师需要我是建议老师可以就是 bear in mind， 然后让你觉得他们很不懂，可是我觉得你可以坚持时间长一点，然后再想办法帮一些英语落后的小朋友在做怎么样的不同的差异化的就是协助辅助来帮助他们能够跟得上。我觉得这个方法不妨试试看，这样子。
好，谢谢老师。
谢谢，因为我自己儿子，我带他去美国4年级，他去上美国小学4年级1整年。那个他们导师说，前2个月他完全都不讲话，然后他只会讲这个，然后中文哦，讲到那个2个月后，导师还跟我讲说，导师说 Maddie 只会这个，连英文老师都学到这个中文了，所以可是2个月过后，他马上就是因为就是想要跟同学互动，他马上就是 very talkative， 就整个变了个人。所以就是孩子们需要有一段期间，你给他们就是 a lot of language exposure and 就是让他们能够 more comfortable about the language. Eventually, they'll get there.
了解。
Thank you for your question. 谢谢主任邀请我，然后
谢谢那个田老师在百忙中来跟我们这个疫情这么严峻帮我们做这个线上的演讲。It's not easy for you. Much appreciate about this. All right. 那我们也谢谢同学今天的参与。那我希望未来有机会还可以跟这个简老师请教这个双语教育的问题，因为他现在投入很多，我想未来应该还有很多可以跟大家分享的。那我们现在还是鼓掌一下，谢谢简老师。We have another chance to see you again. All right, thank you very much. 好，那我们今天就到这里。那刚刚有同学说希望因为今天下雨很大。所以有同学说那个简老师有方便给他们的那个这个影片的连结吗？因为我知道您在录制这个。
OK， 没问题。
好，那再跟子源说好了。那如果有需要的同学再跟子源拿一下这个